Welcome back to Cheney's War Room. The only thing Alexander was too scared to invade, being broadcast from 4 miles left of the political compass.
Going live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Welcome back, and we're back after a week off. It's been about 2 weeks since we've talked, but don't worry, you don't know that. You're in quarantine. You have no concept of time. Time is dead. Corona killed it. But yeah, how you doing, Nathan?
I'm doing pretty good, It was a very long week. I'm excited for Saturday. It's getting warm, so I can finally streak in my neighborhood, which I've been waiting to do all year.
That's how we celebrate our midterms. And yes, for people who don't know why we're gone, it wasn't because we were invading another sovereign nation or anything. It was because of midterms. Because school still exists for us, unfortunately. But, yep, that's the sitch.
Cool.
So, should we actually talk about politics or whatever?
Yeah, let's get into the news. Kim Jong-un is alive, which is cool. After being gone for a couple weeks, which we reported on, theorizing that he could be, in harm's way, he's resurfaced in North Korea. And some reports have said that maybe he had faked his death to try to throw off traitors in his country and see who is really on his side. So we here at Cheney's War Room, as good North Korean citizens, just want to remind everyone that we love and have always loved the Democratic People's Republic of Korea as Democrats, of course.
Yes, as good Democrats, we of course support the regime. But seriously, you gotta respect him for this. This was serious king shit to, suddenly go away for, a week and be like, yo, I died, and have the entire world just suddenly in a fuss while he's just probably in his room playing the new Animal Crossing. And then he comes back and just ousts everybody who congratulated his death. So, I think that's pretty cool. I think that's something to own up to.
Definitely. The more official and probable reason that he went away was actually just to avoid the coronavirus, as a lot of people have been social distancing. You don't think that a regime would do it, but, they're actually very into those kind of things in North Korea. After an aide caught a fever, he went off to his little resort and stayed there until things kind of settled down a little bit. Speaking of aides who have diseases next to powerful leaders of countries, Stephen Miller's wife, Katie Waldman, now Katie Miller, contracted the coronavirus. Of course, Stephen Miller is a close aide to Trump, and Katie Miller works with Mike Pence. A plane that Mike Pence was flying to Iowa was delayed as they took people who had contact with people with coronavirus off of that plane. And so, we can see now that coronavirus is kind of approaching the White House like, Jaws in the movie Jaws, or Mono in a theater department.
I don't know. This isn't... At this rate, Trump has already been, remember, a few months ago, it was, some other, random person that was close to him had tested positive for it, and,
Ron Paul?
Ron Paul, thank you. That dude also had it, and he was close to Trump, and he didn't get it before. Trump didn't get it before. So, knowing our luck, he's probably just immune to it. But I don't know. It'll be pretty interesting to see how this plays out. But my main point taken away from this story you just mentioned, Nathan, the craziest part to me is the fact that Stephen Miller is married. Which is not to say war criminals can't find love.
Let's get into something a little more wacky.
Yes, so I want to talk about something for the first time here probably that's completely apolitical, but also still very, very cool. You all probably saw this on your social media a bit, but about a week ago, the Pentagon just dropped some videos of what was supposed to show some Navy test pilots encountering UFOs, and which was I thought it was very cool. But important thing for these videos had already been released before, but they were like leaked, but then which were originally like leaked in like 2015, or the videos were originally like taped in 2015, but just now they've been re-released and validated by the Pentagon. So these are indeed real, and what this says to me is that the Pentagon is in such a place where they're like, yo dude, we have no idea what this is, so y'all can just have it, Freedom of Information Act or whatever. But if you haven't seen the video, go see it. It's pretty cool. I'm not going to say it's aliens, I don't know, but 2020 would be a lot cooler if there were aliens, I guess. I don't know if we need that. My favorite part in seeing vids like this, even if it's like from the government, is that, especially from like these supposed to be like military engagements in the air and whatnot, is they're always in black and white with like the grainy quality of a CCTV camera. Like, even with the $70 million jet and a near infinite military budget, the U.S. military hasn't progressed beyond, like, the 3DS's camera.
And at least the 3DS camera displayed in 3 dimensions, you know? Stereoscopic or stereo, whatever it's called, you know?
I don't know. Yeah, a $70 million F-18 Hornet doesn't have that. I don't know. The videos are cool. But yeah, my take on it is, well, yes, I do believe in aliens. I normally attribute this type of stuff to either, like, black budget military antics or just, like, another country just messing with us. I don't know. It would be cool if it was aliens, though. But yeah. The U.S., after releasing these and maybe actually discovering aliens, reacted in the only way they know how to react to anything, by trying to invade another sovereign country. Yep. So, just like all of us in quarantine, the U.S. government had nothing to do, so they resorted back to a classic, just like how I've been ordering old Star Wars Lego sets. They tried to do a coup in Latin America again. So, to sum up a long Al Jazeera article, the Venezuelan military, about a week ago, arrested a bunch of dudes, like over 100 of them, in a beach invasion to try and overthrow Maduro, the current president of Venezuela. And 2 of the dudes arrested out of all of this big, awesome boarding power to go and liberate Venezuela were 2 former U.S. Special Army people. And these daring commandos led a daring amphibious invasion that promptly got held up by a fishing village, and then they promptly got arrested. As you would probably assume, the U.S. denies any involvement, but, you know, all the U.S. does is overthrow any other country. That's all they do. Especially in Latin America. If you want the raw numbers, the U.S. they had 12 individual physical attempts to overthrow governments in Latin America between the 50s and 2009, which literally, if you calculate it out, if you are a ruler in Latin America, there is about a 1/3 chance that your country could be overthrown by the United States. But the U.S. says we didn't do it, but my favorite part of this, Nathan, I don't know if I showed this tweet to you, but a few days before, like, the raid took place, that the U.S. was supposed to have no involvement in, was John Bolton, the National Security Advisor, the Advisor for National Security Affairs or whatever, tweeted out saying, just completely randomly, unprompted for whatever reason, saying, quote, "To this day, the significant foreign military presence in Venezuela denies the will of the people. The strongest possible sanctions must remain in place until the peaceful transition of power. And morning is coming to Venezuela again." And then fast forward a few days, and their beach invasion fails. Yeah. My favorite part in all of this was just how horrible the coup was. Just, like, downright mismanaged in every single feasible way. Like, this invasion was literally worse than the invasion of pigs, because at least in Cuba they got out of the boat before they got clowned on. But yeah, at the end of this, I just enjoy that the knowledge of my government, who refuses to even give healthcare education systems pennies, inflates a military and intelligence agency with unlimited money and power, that despite all, is completely and utterly incompetent.
You know, Porter, everyone's having trouble being productive in quarantine. I don't think the U.S. is any exception. We should cut them some slack. Like UO, we should offer them the opportunity to switch to pass, no pass.
Hopefully, I don't know, because I did some reading into the main dude behind it, the ringleader of this, and I don't think this guy's gonna pass, to be honest. So
I don't think he's college educated. Yeah.
definitely not. So to lay out like the U.S.'s involvement, quote unquote, or like the former U.S. dudes that were in it, there were 3 former U.S. Special Forces service members, all of whom were Green Berets, which is kind of like Navy SEALs, but they wear different hats. I don't know. U.S. hierarchy is weird. So 2 of the U.S. Special Forces dudes were captured in the beach invasion in Venezuela. They got held up by a fishing village. But the main guy, who's the ringleader, Jordan Godrau, I don't know, he was the ringleader of it, and he is the owner of a Florida security company called Silver Corp USA. And this guy is so cool. So he's a Special Forces member, Green Beret, served in Afghanistan and Iraq. He comes home, starts a private security firm, and thinks he's the hottest shit. His company's website has what you would expect, just has photos of 40-somethings LARPing as Navy SEALs, holding ARs and other military ordinances. His email ends in 007, and apparently most of his website is just copy-pasted from the DoD's website. But as the story stands right now, and as his compatriots in Venezuela, the ones who were captured, have admitted to, he gets some contract to liberate Venezuela. He buys a 41-foot boat and tries to sail to Venezuela from Florida because he already has his compatriots and other like groups activated in Venezuela to go and liberate it. His boat breaks down. He can't join his comrades and gets picked up in Caraco in the Caribbean and sent back to the U.S. because of quarantine concerns. So, hot as shit. Wonderful security officer, and that is what I expect from our military forces.
Well, speaking on strong military men, Porter, do you want to get into our next segment?
Sure. I'm very excited about this. Thank you for handing the reins. But as you know, there's a presidential race going on, and in every single presidential race that has ever happened in America, all the candidates have always been gunning for the coveted Cheney's War Room endorsement. To this day, John Kerry still hits me up in the DMs for not endorsing him. And the War Room, Nathan and I, after much deliberation and talking back and forth, are finally ready to give our endorsement for the 2020 race. And let us just say, this candidate makes us so happy. So let me give you the pitch of why I like this candidate. Are you tired of the inevitability of disaster coming at you slowly? Did you think the end times and our descent into Cylopean chaos would have more pizzazz? If so, I've got the candidate for you. We are proud to endorse Jesse. Oh wait, Nathan, we should say this in unison. So it's like
okay. 3, 2, 1.
2, 1. We are proud to endorse Jesse Ventura
for president.
For president.
We'll do this in post. We'll fix it.
We'll fix it up in post, whatever. But Jesse Ventura, if you don't know, is the professional wrestler and the actor from Predator. Because look, if you're faced with a Biden v. Trump situation, America is truly, as we can see, not only there, but like in every other facet, America is truly on its last season. So, what kind of finale do you want? A rerun of the last season? A sad attempt at a once okay sequel? Or do you want to go out with a fucking bang? Ventura 2020.
Look, if we have to have a Predator for president in 2020, don't you want it to be because they were in a classic film and not any other reason?
We should also mention that there is a tiny little bit to this candidate themselves. But also a day before we sat down to record this, Jesse Ventura also confirmed he's not actually running.
What?
But don't despair, folks. He can still win this. And we're going to talk about why this man can still win this and why he's the greatest politician of all time. Okay, before we begin, and Nathan and I are just going to read through some of his policy stances about how crazy this man is and like different little facts about him. We should preface that Jesse Ventura is completely and utterly insane. But that doesn't mean this man isn't so cool. And he had toyed and teased us with another potential presidential campaign in 2016 as well, but he got much further this time because the Green Party's normal presidential candidate and main head figure Howie Hawkins was agreed to give up his seat of the Green Party's candidacy to Jesse Ventura. So it was looking like he was shaping up to run in the Green Party. So, Nathan, shall we go through the former governor's great policy stances?
Awesome. Okay. Okay. Jesse Ventura supports single-payer health care, which means he will kick your ass. Then you can go to the hospital and get treated for it and have a nice small bill at the end. Nothing big.
This man, despite being a professional wrestler who will always get up all in your shit, is also a massive anti-imperialist and massive anti-interventionist, which means he wants to cut not only military spending, but also close all of our global military bases we have. And you know that if the Venezuelan coup was attempted under him, one, it wouldn't have happened, and two, he would have done it good. But he wouldn't have done it because he doesn't believe in that type of stuff. He's cool.
He's also an accomplished author. That's right, everyone. He's not just bronze, he's also brains. He's the author of hit books like 63 Documents the Government Doesn't Want You to Read, 63 Reasons to Believe There Was a Conspiracy to Assassinate JFK. There's a lot of 60.
Why does he like the number 60? Is the number 63 hold some type of like a wrestler's significance or something?
I don't know. Cool number. He also likes math. Democrips and Republicans. No more gangs in government. Which also proves that he likes Kendrick Lamar, because that's also like kind of a Kendrick Lamar lyric. So he's cultured as well.
My favorite part of all of the... Nathan and I were just looking at his Amazon list right now for all of his books he wrote. They all look like the same basic things. They all just have his face on it, on the very front of it. My favorite one is one titled... Don't Start the Revolution Without Me, ! And his photo of it on him on the front is he's completely bald with a long mustache, and he looks almost identical. He definitely looks like Vladimir Lenin. Like, he looks like a PS1 rendered version of Vladimir Lenin. He's so cool. I need to read some of these books.
Also, you guys, he's got these two books. One is called Quotations of Chairman Jesse. It goes for $1,000 on Amazon, and apparently it was written in 1869. And another is called The Wit and Wisdom of Jesse the Mind Ventura, and it's $900, and that one was written in 1664. You know, they say we're gonna elect Joe Biden, he's got experience. But what? He was born in like 1900 or something? He's a little baby. Jesse Ventura could have cradled Joe Biden when he was a fetus, you know?
This man was around before our country was even formed. He would be a great president. He was there at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, all that. He's so good. Something else I also want to talk about for his media and whatnot is, are you tired, if you are a Democrat, or hopefully you're not a Democrat, but if you're not a nice liberal-minded person, and you are tired of all these people calling your candidate a Russian asset, or maybe they're calling critiques of a status quo candidate Russian assets, and they're blaming Russia for everything. Well, don't worry. Jesse Ventura only had a news program called The World According to Jesse, which was a TV show that was literally given to him by the Russian government. This man is so cool. But, folks, we do regret to inform you that he is not running for president. But that doesn't mean he can't win. That doesn't mean he's still not going to do it, and that's not going to mean we're not going to cover every single little instance of him on the campaign trail. But what happened was, or rather the reason given, is that actually a day before this recording he gave a press conference where he talked about why he would not be accepting the Green Party's candidacy. And it was due to the fact that if he ran underneath the Green Party's platform and for single-payer healthcare, Medicare for all, and all that good stuff, is he would actually lose his healthcare with his employer. And that's something he needs right now with health conditions for himself and his wife. So, once again, pretty fucked up. This man could have been what we needed. I mean, Nathan, real talk for a second. This man is completely insane and crazy. And I forgot to mention how he once went on Alex's Jones Infowars to talk about how 9/11 was an inside job and also aliens. But in terms of his policy proposals and who he is, do you think he would be better than Biden or Trump?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. Are you already all in on the Body 2020? The Body's was his wrestler name.
My body is ready. Ventura 20. What's his name again?
Well, that wraps it up for this week. Thank you for watching. I hope you watching. What? This is audio format. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed talking about Jesse Ventura, and I hope you do vote for him, even though he's not running. But know that we here on the War Room fully endorse him, his campaign, and his message, especially the part about aliens and his weird books. We will be back next week when we are the ones invading Iraq. Yeah, Nathan, you have anything to say? You want to plug some stuff?
Yeah, you can find my podcast, Faces with Nathan Wilk, on SoundCloud or YouTube, and also support Kim Jong-un. We love Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un. Yeah. And I'm Porter Wheeler. You can find me on Twitter as Porter Wheeler, just at Doc Bennington. And yeah, I'll talk to you all next week. Have a good time in quarantine. I know you won't.